Zebra learns to love himself the way he is. Welcome back to Kim Tells Tales, where every story has a lesson. So come closer, little one. Let me tell you a story. Long, long ago, in the warm African wilderness, Zebra looked very different from the way he looks today. He had stripes, of course, but Zebra wasn't happy about them. One sunny morning, Zebra stood beside the waterhole, admiring other animals. He looked at Giraffe. Her beautiful markings were large and rounded. Then he looked at Leopard. Leopard's coat was covered in lovely spots and rosettes. And then there was Guinea Fowl, whose feathers were decorated with tiny round white spots. Zebra looked down at his own body. Long stripes, thin stripes, straight stripes. He frowned. Why can't my markings be pretty and round like theirs? Zebra decided there was only one way to find out. He would interview the animals himself. First, he found Giraffe quietly munching leaves from the top of a tall tree. "Excuse me, Giraffe," called Zebra. Giraffe lowered her long neck. "Yes, Zebra? How did you get those beautiful round markings?" Giraffe looked down at her own coat. "These?" she asked. "Yes, your lovely rounded patches." Giraffe smiled. "I was simply born with them. Every giraffe has markings that are special and different." Zebra looked at his stripes. "But yours are round." Giraffe chuckled softly. "Well, Zebra, perhaps your stripes are special in their own way." Zebra wasn't convinced. "Thank you, Giraffe," he said politely. And off he went. Next, Zebra found Leopard resting beneath a shady tree. "Leopard," called Zebra. Leopard opened one sleepy eye. "Yes." "How did you get those beautiful spots?" Leopard stood up and proudly showed off his coat. "These markings help me blend into the light and shadows of the bush." Zebra looked closely. Leopard's markings were indeed beautiful. Little spots, beautiful rosettes, all rounded and neat. "But why couldn't I have markings like yours?" Zebra asked. Leopard gave him a patient look. "Because, Zebra, you are not a leopard." Zebra sighed. "I know that. And I'm not a zebra," Leopard continued. "Perhaps you should stop wishing for someone else's markings and appreciate the ones you have." Zebra looked down at his stripes. He still wasn't convinced. "Thank you, Leopard," he said. Then he walked away. Finally, Zebra found Guinea Fowl scratching around in the dusty ground. "Guinea Fowl?" called Zebra. Guinea Fowl looked up. "Yes, Zebra? How did you get all those beautiful little round spots?" Guinea Fowl blinked. "I was born with them." "Oh?" said Zebra. "Did someone paint them on?" "No." "Did someone step them onto your feathers?" "No." "Did you roll around in something?" Guinea Fowl's feathers began to ruffle. "No, Zebra." "Oh," he said. "So how did you get them?" Guinea Fowl took a deep breath. "I told you, I was born this way." Then she flapped her wings angrily and flew off. Zebra watched her disappear into the sky. Then he looked around. There was nobody else to ask. For the first time that day, Zebra was completely alone. He slowly walked towards a small pool of water. He looked at his reflection. There they were, his long straight stripes. Zebra sighed. "Maybe they're right. Maybe I should just accept my stripes." But then Zebra noticed something beside the water. A big puddle of thick, black, sticky mud. Zebra's eyes widened. He had an idea. "If I can't have round markings," he said, "perhaps I can make some." Zebra stepped into the mud. He rolled onto his side. He stood up and rubbed against a muddy tree trunk. Then he ran through the tall grass. When Zebra finally stopped, he was covered in black, sticky mud. He hurried back to the waterhole to see his reflection. But when he looked into the water, he gasped. The mud had not made him round-spotted like Giraffe. It had not made him rosette-covered like Leopard. And it certainly had not made him dotted like Guinea Fowl. Instead, the black mud had made his stripes darker, bolder, stronger, and somehow beautiful. Zebra smiled. I don't need giraffe's patches. I don't need leopard spots. And I don't need guinea fowl's dots. He looked proudly at his reflection. I have my stripes. And from that day forward, Zebra stopped wishing he looked like anyone else. He learned that being different was not something to hide. It was something to celebrate. And that is how Zebra learned to love the stripes that made him uniquely Zebra. He realized that sometimes we spend so much time wishing we looked like someone else that we forget to see how special we are already. Be proud of what makes you different, because what makes you different may be exactly what makes you beautiful. The end. If you enjoyed today's story, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with others. Remember too, the story is also available in Sesotho.